Alright, hello everybody and welcome to this new video. In this video I actually want to touch more of a topic of physical work, let's say those core workers that I've always spoken about before in my videos. The guys that actually get the job done. So yeah, that's a very important topic to talk about. That's why I was thinking that there are some good ways or advantages why you should be one of these core workers, since everybody needs them, and some of them actually gets paid a lot. And the other good thing about this is that it usually doesn't need any higher level of education. You can do it kind of right off the bat after school. You don't have to worry about college or anything like that most of the time. But yeah, there are some cons and pros that I want to actually cover here. So yeah, let's get started. Let's start with pros. We can have actually pretty many pros I found here also, because physical work has its advantages. Say what you want, but it has its advantages, and I personally have also done physical work, like I think around how you call it. I think it's 1.5 years I've done physical work in total in my lifetime. I actually get paid by this, and of course I've done more and stuff, but like that. But me personally, I prefer office. But let's see. Maybe I can change some minds of you, and also I think it will be the future sometimes, because of course you can have for farming you can have like automatic vehicles driving around there and seeding and growing and picking them, and also for like car manufacturers you can have robots working there doing the stuff. For the couriers, we have Starship now. A lot of stuff that can be delivered also, and by robots. And that's actually one of the cons that I didn't touch here. But at the same time, there are some stuff that robots are kind of having rough time to put things on the shelves, for example. And even like basic stuff like cleaning, in certain places that there's too big of a step in your doorstep and the robot cannot get through to vacuum that or something like that. There is a lot of things that robots cannot do yet. However, in the future there might be, of course, it can be going both ways. It can be that robots get done everything, but at the same time I see that there is some factors that for example in this photo, taxi drivers. Do you ever think that there will be like automatic taxis that you just sit in and it will take you where you want to go? Sometimes maybe this does, but at the same time I think most of the people would having this lack of trust for now. Maybe the new generation wouldn't have it, and we can have it like taxi drivers dismissed, but who knows. Even though for now I see that there's a lot of important guys needed that are doing the physical work or getting the physical work done. There's other examples as well that I can bring, like moving stuff from one place to another. This kind of U-Haul in US and stuff like that. These guys, like, remember that I don't think the robot could do it. That the robot will actually pick from some kind of private house from the second floor some stuff and bring it to the truck or something like this. There's kind of, my mind doesn't get around it. So that's why I think that even though there's robots coming and taking some of these places away from the humans, however at the same time it still needs a lot of humans to be getting the job done, because It's just cheaper. And for the company, you are going to evaluate if your company is big enough to for this robot to pay off, and that will happen as well. But anyways, I didn't even get to my first point yet. So we can debate about robots and humans for hours. However, there is some pros about also physical work. One thing that I see that once you deal with a lot of like lifting up boxes, and of course not the taxi driver, but I mean U-Haul that I was bringing, for example, it's a free gym for you, and same with some kind of people that are lifting heavy boxes every day, and or some heavy equipment every day, some machines, this kind of guys, or people that are even the washing machine company needs people to deliver the washing machines to the people's doors and so on, to their inside the doors as well. So yeah, there's a lot of ways for having free workouts for you. You don't even have to eat the gym for this. So yeah, it's pretty good, and you will have the natural strength. I mean, that's one of the pros that I see personally as well. That it could be pretty good for the physical figure, and same with the health. It's you're doing some healthy stuff. You're lifting stuff. However, yeah, I mean there is some it can backfire you, because you can injure yourself, or you can also not only injure yourself, but you can actually damage your health, like making your back or your knees very hurt, and that would be haunting you for the rest of your life and stuff like this, and it would forbid you for doing any other activities like that as well at the same time. And same as with like football as well. Like, let's see that, I mean, soccer, sorry, I mean for the US guys here, but as for the football, I think it's you have to have very good physical figure, and there will be injuries, there will be some problems with your health. Some guys don't even play after the doctor has said to them that, hey, you cannot play football anymore. There is always those risks, and at the same time, why you are doing it is because it's fun, and you are earning a lot of money based on this. So it can be also when you're in the right place with this physical work, you might get paid a lot. And I mean, those football players, they cannot be replaced by robots. It would just not be fun to watch, because kind of people see as football players as their idols, or those people that are seeing them as their idols. They don't want to see like AIs or something like that. There will be always have to be this human touch to it, because otherwise we forget that we're humans, and etc. So yeah, sorry about the AI topic for so long, but it's just some examples that I would like to bring here. Same thing with it's fun and outside, and it doesn't involve screens. So if you work in the office, you have to work behind the screen basically every day. I mean, some days maybe not. When you at home, you can do your laundry and stuff. Home office, you can do cook or whatever. However, this the rest of your day still involves screens. But as for the physical work, it usually doesn't involve them, unless you have to accept some stuff, and you have your department computer or something like that you will have to use from time to time, or some screens that is necessary to use to contact with people, all those things, but it doesn't mean that you are going to stay behind them like 24/7, or like 8 hours, 9 hours in a day. It means that you will have to stay behind them for maybe maximum half an hour a day. It's already a big win. And same thing without being outside. Some people like to see, how is the city life going, or if you're working in a while, like being a lumberjack or something, you can see beautiful nature, and these kind of things. Breathe the fresh air, and we're lacking of fresh air nowadays, especially in Asia. That's very polluted, So yeah, I think it's pretty good that you can be actually outside also. That I found is pretty nice, and you don't have to, be behind your screen all the time. Uh, so yeah, and another thing that I found was that sense of completion is easier to arrive. Since that is actually a very valid point that when I worked as a physical worker, um, I feel like the achievements during the day that, oh, I got this done and I got that done. I did so much, and not everybody would have done it. This kind of things. In the office, I almost never felt it. I mean, sometimes maybe with some days, but it's not usually the same that oh, I got this very heavy stuff done that I'm very proud of myself or something like this. It's more like, yeah, it went well, and by tomorrow or after a week maybe it's forgotten already. But this sense of completion in the physical work is different. It's something that, for example, if you do some handicraft, right? It's you are basically on it all the time, and you are working really hard to get this kind of handicraft done, and etc. And once it's the end result, you're like, wow, this is awesome. This was awesome. The same with the like pottery, ceramics. The first basically profession in the human history almost. Uh, if you're like making some pots that nobody else knows how to do, or not so many people know how to do, or it's something that you can actually use in your real life, it's very, very nice. Because if you cannot use it in your real life, the work, then you have to keep the balance between your work and real life, of course. But I think at certain amount of works you can have some benefits, especially with physical works, about your real life also. There are some specifics. Let's say that some, if you work as a like a car mechanic, let's say that you can get maybe some car parts with cheaper prices, or maybe some of them are going to be utilized, and you are seeing that, oh, but actually I need it, but it was not paid by the customer or something, and then you can just take it home and install it to your car. So those are the things that are like some bonuses and benefits also, that is also sense of completion. And while you're walking home, or like taking a car home, or public transport, whatever, anyways, you have this sense of completion. And there's also one more topic that I would, or not one more, but I mean many more topics here. But the next thing is less competition. Sorry, I will take a sip here. So less competition is this. There will be, not so many candidates for these kind of positions, I think, because most of the people, they want to be in the office or working remotely from home. I mean, why to go out? Why do I waste my health and my will, and I will be super tired by the end of the day, and so on, and then you will have this advantage that maybe not everybody wants to do it, and there will be less competition for this, because it requires some stuff. And I also think that maybe even for the first job, it's usually pretty good to do the physical one first. Then you see how this part of the chain kind of operates, since it can open you some basic doors, maybe in the same company or something like that. So yeah, I think it's very important to notify that as well, because you will have easier time to find a job, and there will be always these guys that want physical workers. And what is physical workers exactly? Is all the guys. It's not only those low paid ones like cleaning ladies and this kind of like cashiers. It's also electricians and construction workers, all those guys that are actually earning quite a salary there. Mechanics also, I think nowadays are earning a lot. So it might not be a bad thing that you are doing these kind of things. And there's always like lack of specialists, and especially like, let's say that you are like repairing watches. Not everybody can do it. Like this clocksmith or whatever it's called, but it's kind of like a cool profession for some people. And that brings me to another point, that communicating with people. You'll find a lot of interesting people to talk with when you're doing physical work, whether they are in your team or they are your customers or whatever. The thing is that, once you do something good for people, they are going to start to want to communicate with you. Usually in the office work, it's not quite that, because there's heavy competition with, winning the beats and winning those, this kind of like market shares and etc. to get some kind of money out of it. But when somebody goes to, like, let's say that install the Wi-Fi in somebody's apartment, then you will be happy that this Wi-Fi works, and you will be having, some kind of connection with the other world. You'll be happy about it, and you want to say like, oh, thank you, and communicate. Maybe you don't want to communicate with this technician, but some of the people want to communicate with them. And same with when I was speaking with those physical workers that have done, this kind of work for ages. They have done it for so many years, and I was asking like, why do you do it? And he said, because I meet, a lot of different people. I see where they, like, how they decorate their houses and like apartments and stuff, because otherwise you are not going to see those things. You are not having any ideas like how do you decorate your own apartment, maybe, because you will have only your idea, but you don't have it based on many people. So the more opinions you see, kind of like how those people do make their decisions, the better. And I'm not going to get into this waiters or waitresses that are, seeing so many different people from every part of the world. It's like crazy. And some of them are collecting flags and, collecting those, countries, marking them all down in the world maps. Is super cool. And some people are doing this work for this kind of reason as well, because they can actually communicate with people, and they want to get, they don't want to communicate with AI. I mean, some of these pages, like web pages, let's say that I'm going to visit some web page, and then there are sometimes these bots that are asking that, oh, can we help you, but I don't remember many times that I was writing to this kind of bot. I mean, some of the times maybe, but I usually want to have a direct contact with somebody, and that's why you kind of cannot replace the human link, because humans want to communicate with humans, not with some kind of like made up, this kind of AI that's maybe having emotions in the future, or can display some kind of guy's mind, but it's not quite the same, and etc. So yeah, communicating with people, I think, is one of the big pros, and you can explore so many places sometimes when you're doing physical work. Get some good things useful for the life, even like taxi drivers. I mean, what is useful in their work is that they basically know every street in your city by heart, and they know where to get from where fast. Sometimes you need to drive to the hospital fast, and to help your loved ones, and it can be really beneficial skill at some point. I'm not saying that break the law or anything. It's just like when you know those shortcuts, or those kind of ways how to get around, like in a good ways, like taking this lane, taking that lane, turning down from there. From time it saves me time and stuff, so on. Like there will be a lot of things, and so it's the 7th point here is can have multiple physical jobs. What does it mean? It means that you can work in 2 different places maybe, and you don't even have to do it like part-time. When you're not caring too much about your sleep, you can drive taxis in the night, and same time maybe deliver some food in the daytime that people have the lunch in. Uh, there can be like taxi drivers in the same way, and same with the security guards that uh, there are some patrols. Maybe you can do the police work in the daytime, and in the nighttime you do like security work uh, when your shift has ended, and so on. Like there's a lot of chances, and usually there is no like competition limit there. Because nowadays I see that in the office it's a lot of competition limits that they tell you that, oh, you cannot work for this like our competition after you quit, but they are not going to stop you from doing that, of course. But I mean, uh, when you're doing physical work, they don't actually mind that you are like you know policeman at the daytime and security in the nighttime or something like that. Who would mind this kind of thing? Nobody. If you get the job done, they don't care. They just want to have a guy there. So yeah. So if you need a lot of money, you can have like multiple jobs, and maybe not even like full time. You can have part time jobs and rest at the same time. So yeah. So there is a lot of ways to kind of build your system around it. And also, I kind of want to mention now that I'm not a very good specialist because I've only worked like paid once for a year and a half. But there are some guys that have done this kind of jobs for like tens of years, and they are much more experienced in this than anybody else. But the thing is, why is it like this that nobody thinks about them? Is that their voices are not heard in the world. Their voices is not heard in the world, and I will get to this point later. But this is very important to mention here that basically, nobody really cares too much about them. But actually, you should give credit to them because they are getting the job done. They are the ones that are like the core in your company, usually. Unless you have like consulting firm or something like nowadays is very popular to make these kind of things, they are kind of like a core worker. And even if you're having this consulting company, then you still need some guys that are getting your stuff done, like programmers and stuff as well. But they are not um, also the core workers. The core workers are the ones that are getting the server established or something like that. There's so many ways to be this kind of core or physical workers, and a lot of pros as well. And the final point that I would like to mention here for the pros is that I've seen it causing less stress and less thinking also. I don't have to think how I'm going to get the job done. I just do. This not every job is like this, because sometimes you don't know like how to clean properly. This kind of what kind of tools do you need to be cleaning the toilet or something like that, and what kind of this how you call it, this kind of liquid that is you put inside the toilet or something to make it clean. Anyways, you don't really know it at start, but after you have done it for a month or so already, then you know exactly how to do it. So then you don't have to think anymore. You just do. And it's not the same case in the office, because in the office you have to worry about clients usually. That every client is kind of different, and you have to find a way to reach them. Uh, but it can be also in the physical work, because a musician, for example, has to go to with some kind of contracts, getting the project-based contracts that he's going to play the guitar for you, or something like that. It's a lot of ways, but he doesn't really have to think how is he going to play guitar anymore, because he kind of already knows how to play the guitar. He just has to know how to reach to every customer, and this comes with time as well. What else do we have? Is less stress? Yes, I mean, um, I don't remember me personally having too much stress with my physical work. One of them was really tough though. I mean, at some point when you get to this kind of point that you feel like, okay, I'm done, I'm physically done, I cannot do anything anymore, I cannot move, then it can affect you, and it can cause a lot of stress very suddenly. However, once it's not there, it doesn't really appear usually as well, because there's nothing to be afraid of, especially when you're already experienced all those aspects in the job. Then at some point you start worrying about it and stuff. However, in the office it's always like, oh, we need to lay off this person, we need to lay off that, we need to restructure. But you cannot really restructure the core worker because he gets the job done or she gets the job done. Is like, how are you going to replace them? You are going to basically reduce your sales or something? No, that's the very last thing that the companies do, is to reduce their sales. I don't think any company kind of does that, and they shouldn't be doing that. If they reduce the sales, it's the worst thing that can ever happen. All right, let's go for the cons. And here we can actually there's not so many that pros are more, but I would like to say that these cons are actually very influential. And why? Because they are, kind of like major cons. They are not cons that are like, you can just pass by and be done with it. Because usually it's the salary. And if you watch your company and you're working in this big company and you are the lowest of the lowest, basically this core value worker, then you get paid the least in the company. However, if you're this kind of like mechanics, like I would like to say, and those kind of guys that are very essential for these kind of works, specific works, there's some kind of specialist in your physical work, like this clocksmith, then you get pretty highly paid, but not usually, because sorry, usually the salary for physical workers is quite low. And of course, like if you're owning your own company, it would be different and so on. You can always own your own company with this as well, and be one of these workers there, and pay the amount to yourself as well. But still, I think the salary is usually pretty low, and that's already the most important topic, that why you're working in the first place. I mean, if you don't need to work in your life, then it would be very good, and you don't really care too much about salary then. But I think everybody kind of needs to work nowadays, because financial freedom is a good thing to have, but how many people actually have it? If you get more money, you have more spendings, you are going to buy bigger stuff, you're going to run out of money again. That's why you always need to constantly have the stable income every month, or every week based, month based, I don't know, I think in Australia it's like a week based. So salary is very, very important, and I've said it in my previous videos that it's the most important thing about the job. If the salary is low, you're just not going to work there. That's how simple it is. So if you want to find a physical work that suits you, just aim those like car stuff, or something like, I don't know, car mechanic or electrician or something like that. So yeah, and that's one of the cons, and that's why many people want to get into the office in the first place. That's number one reason. And it's kind of gets pretty obvious also, this kind of cons as well. Routines is the second thing. Once you have done, like, I don't know, you worked in a warehouse for for like tens of years in the same warehouse, doing the same processes every day, meeting with the same people every day, or not. I don't think warehouse is the best example. Let's say manufacturing is the best example. You work in a factory, you're working in a line, so the line could be faster. You will have to do your part every day. You're like, I don't know, like putting some taps on or corks into some kind of bottles or on the bottles. You know, every day you do this kind of things, like in the Charlie and Chocolate Factory, and even this guy was replaced by the robot, sadly. But anyways, you get the point. It's sometimes that to save the cost, not to buy too expensive machines or robots, people are doing these manufacturers that are, you know, workers that are like working with their hands every day or doing the same stuff from day to day. This routine is coming in very very fast, compared with some office jobs that you call the different clients every day, for example, or something like this. So sometimes there is some routines, not, and even if you are a waiter or waitresses, then you still have this routine to, you know, come to work at this time, leave at this time, be serving the drinks first of all, making sure that you follow this schedule, follow this plan. Otherwise, you'll be, you know, doing the wrong thing. And routine, like how to get like drinks for the customer, how to get the food from where, bring the food to this table first. You know, these kind of routines are everyday routines. Of course, the people are different. People order different stuff to eat and stuff like that. But there are still some routines inside this kind of work as well. So yeah, I think many of these physical works are influenced by routines. And number 3, career options. Now, what I saw in my like career, I think when I was working in the like, you know, as a physical worker, I kind of opened the door to the scene. However, the next offer I got was basically for 1 month contract and with a minimum wage. And for the physical work, I got the normal wage or something like that. That was pretty okay. But I knew that I wanted to be in the office. So what was that like? Basically, it was like downgrade for me. I was going to the office. I got paid less, but I got into cozy office. After this office work, now I got a new offer, and that was for longer term and with a decent salary. So that one job that I did with the minimum salary for 1 month, that opened me so many doors that I wouldn't believe it myself if I didn't see it. However, physical work doesn't open you these doors, because the first job I was offered was basically a downgrade. They didn't care that I was working, you know, a level lower or something in the same scene, and they just cared about if I had the previous experience in the office and you know, this kind of jobs. And so I said no, I didn't, and I don't know like what kind of norms are there, even because I never worked there before and so on. So physical work doesn't open you doors, and that's pretty sad actually that it doesn't usually. However, sometimes there are some success stories also that I've seen that you know, people start from the low, and then the manager will see that they are doing a good job and they are going to promote him or her. However, isn't usually the case, because how many of these people are you going to promote anyways? And then look at the competition. If you are having you know, a big company, there will be a lot of lower level workers there, not just this one guy that got promoted, you know. So yeah, that's what I think, that career options are kind of like dismissed for you in case you are doing the physical work. Then what else do we have is lack of rest and shifts. Now, yeah, so you cannot really decide when you have shifts, because they are going to put it together with you, I mean for you. And lack of rest is another thing that it needs time to rest, because physical work is very exhausting physically, and you will need this rest. When you're doing office work, you need rest for the brain, but if you do physical work, you need the rest for your body. Of course, office work can be rest for the body as well at the same time, but I think it's mostly for the brain, mental health instead of physical health. And the physical work, there's physical health involved most of the time, and you will need those time to rest, or you need to kind of get used to this like tempo and stuff like that. So yeah, I think I see here that if I would work like physical work every day, like 9 hours, I would not be that happy after like a year or so, because my body would say that no, don't go back to work or something like that. So it's not for me, maybe it's for you, but I couldn't get used to that kind of thing, and I would get bored pretty easily usually with this physical work because of the routines. And same with the shifts. It's this shifts can be decided by some kind of timetable planner or some like manager that is basically saying to you that, oh, come to work in the night or come to work in the weekends, and you will have to be there for this time, and when they need you to be there, and you are very difficult to replace because they are saving the cost from everybody there. uh, Maybe at some point they are restructuring and giving you the double work, and then it will be very easy like not to go to the holiday by the employer's perspective, and they are not going to see how in general would you even go to holiday, because the job doesn't get done, and that's the proof there. What else? Dangers for the health? Yeah, like I said, back problems, knee problems is the most common ones. Also like necks, voice, all those things that is very easy to be damaged in this environment, uh, and etc. And especially when you're lifting heavy boxes every day, would be exhausting for your health, and you'll have to proceed many health checks at the same time. So yeah, I don't think it's for everybody, but as I said, that some people actually enjoy it, uh, and that's why I'm bringing it out. That what I see, to be making your decision easier than it would be. So if you like those pros that much that you can pass by all those, then I think you are a physical worker minded people. And but if you don't bypass those cons, then I think that already speaks for itself, that maybe you should try for the office instead. And yeah, cannot decide much. Now that's a very valid thing, because you are the lowest of the lowest. They're not going to involve you basically to any kind of meetings that they are going to do in the office, because that will waste the work time and time for them to earn the profit or make the product, make this service, all those things that are there, and you are basically nobody in their eyes. Maybe they know you personally, but or they are interested by themselves if they are a manager. But honestly, I don't really think that you can actually decide much when you are a physical worker. Only way that you can decide much when you are a physical worker is when you own your own company and are like like Kim's Convenience have this guy as a cashier, or I don't know, this kind of like you are owning a brewery and you're serving some beer. That can way you can maybe decide sometimes, but not much. I mean, the work needs to be done like no matter what, and somebody needs to get the work done. So if not you, then you have to hire some guy that gets the work done for you. That's how easy the works here, and they are not going to involve any kind of representation. Your wishes or needs for the company are the bottom of the bottom, basically. You cannot decide much, and you are the last link that everybody else gets their cut, and you are the last link that people will turn to and see how's the welfare of you later than all the others. All the other links are getting their welfare and manager questions before you. So yeah, I would like to bring out that as well as for the con. But honestly, yeah, I didn't find like 8 cons here, but those cons are pretty influential in my eyes. I mean, your health is basically your everything, because if there's no health, it's like bottom of the Maslow pyramid or something, I guess. Same with salary, is you cannot buy food, these kind of things that basically is the basic human needs, that physical works sometimes block to have. Yeah. So yeah, that's why I think it's kind of influential. And now, how to maximize the effort and keep the job. I mean, sorry for this slide. I think it's a little bit, how you say it. It's very like a tough guy's perspective, or you have to be like a, survival of the strongest is basically how it is in the physical work. It's always the survival of the strongest. It's never something that is like in the office that oh, this guy speaks better stories and makes better jokes or something like that, I will keep him instead of her. No, it's not like that. It would be like, this man is stronger than this woman, and in our job it needs to be lifted so many boxes that he is more valuable for us than this woman, or something like this. It's very discriminative, this kind of jobs, mostly, I think. And that's why it's the survival of the fittest, and there is these kind of things that there is only so much that you can do, is basically in this, you cannot do too much about it. And it's better whether you are this kind of guy or whether you're not. It's like Viking, you are whether a Viking or whether you are this kind of guys that get slayed by the Vikings, and they are not taking this kind of weak men with them to these raids of the Viking raids or something like that in the past. So basically it's very historical, because the physical job they used to didn't have like robots or like safety inspectors or like I don't know, some kind of some a lot of these guys of HRs and people partners and whatever they have nowadays, consultants, experts, all those guys, they didn't have those. They had basically physical workers and the king, and that's how it is. And maybe some nobles that are taking their cuts before, but they had them in a much smaller scale, because otherwise the work wouldn't get done and they wouldn't get enough food to survive. So yeah, how to keep the physical job. Firstly, punctuality is when you have a shift, you better make to this shift in the right time and end it at the right time. I mean, you can end it later without writing it down, I guess, for the company, because the company never wants you to write down some extra time unless they really need you there, but they don't want to pay you more. However, they want to pay for you to be there. So arrive at the right time is the most important to say. And when you need to end at the time then end at the right time also, and etc. Get your job done in the right time frame as well. So work fast. Yeah, fast workers are very well held in the companies. They don't want to get rid of them. And actually, I think for my first physical job, it was also that they kind of invited me back, but the routine was too much to bear for me, and I couldn't stand with this. And yeah, I already made my mind that I want to make a career and I want to go to the office. So I was a fast worker, but I didn't want to stay. I mean, there was just part of me that didn't feel complete there. But I've seen that the guys that work fast are very successful in this, especially those that have done this job for a long time and they are working very fast. They know all the tricks and tips, and they have a lot of strength for these kind of things, and etc. Yeah, and help others. Now that's not something that is very common to do because everybody kind of watch out for themselves. However, if you are a good example, they are going to hold you better, and they are going to basically say that this other guy needs to go before you. If you are, caring about your team and he doesn't care about your team, or something like this. So yeah, help others is a very good way, I think, as well. And number 4, don't complain. Now, complaining is the last thing you do because you are nobody for them. And same thing is that if there is some other guy that doesn't complain, that I've said in my previous video, and you are the one that complains all the time because it's too much for you or it's too much for you to bear, to go to kind of, for the changes, especially when the company is going through a change, they are introducing a new system, and your first reaction would be to complain about this new system, and they already went live with this. I mean, they are not going to see you in a good light after this. So better not complain about this new system and just accept it. That's how it is now, and the less you complain, the better, basically, for the company and for yourself, for your keeping your job. If you want to get rid of the job somehow, then yes, complain. I mean, if you want to be laid off or something like that, in a reasonable way, that you are not, showing any worse results or stuff like that, then you can complain. But if you're already showing some bad results and stuff like this, then they can just fire you instead of laying you off. And yeah, don't make mistakes, because that's another thing that is very costly for the companies. When you make a mistake and they have to pay for it. If you don't have your own way to pay, if you're too poor to pay, also there will be more mistakes coming with physical work, because it's very easy to drop something, but it's not so easy to write an email wrong and send it out, because you can double check the email. So yeah, I think don't make mistakes is a good explanation, that watch out for the mistakes, and when you make a mistake, make your learnings from it. And don't abuse work time. Yeah, sorry, very this kind of down-to-earth explanations and probably very obvious ones. However, I think it still needs to be here, since physical workers are also workers, and they like their job, they like what they are doing. They need to be getting paid more because they get the job done. I always favored that. However, if somebody that is doing a lot of plans and making the plans happen, and having mental stress, going through fire and water in the office as well, then they don't want to be paid lower by this, by getting yelled at by their boss every day instead of you, that is a physical worker that almost never get yelled by the boss. So yeah, I think there will be a conflict if everybody gets paid too much, because the company would simply not operate. I mean, how would you make profit if you pay everybody too much? That's how the nowadays slavery is, that the companies are having one link that is usually the physical workers that are the lowest of the lowest, and they don't get paid basically nothing. They are very important for the company, but the company always finds ways to pay them less, or thinking that their payments should be not raised by any means. Instead, we should raise all these middle managers and stuff like that, experts, all those guys, their salaries first of all, which is not fair. But yeah, I think that there's certain positions, and if you get the job done, it's most important thing for the company. If I was my company manager, if I had my own company, I would be watching closely what this physical worker would do, that if he or she is actually useful for the company, and if there is any way that he or she is doing better job than I would, or something like that, then I would maybe keep them. But if in case I can do better job about basic stuff, then I'm not so sure if I would actually keep them, especially when I would be having my manager duties done at the same time. Then I would be both like the physical worker and the manager at the same time. If I had a big company, of course, I would not be checking them that often, or sometimes maybe very rarely go and check what they are up to, but not usually. So yeah, that's the problem, that nowadays kind of lack of voice is the problem. And since we had this election video as well, that US election, I think that's exactly what happened, lack of voice. I mean, now in this world there's so many middle managers, there's so many different positions in the office, but there's the physical worker is basically non-existent, or is replaced by the robots, and the robots turns out that they cannot do all the duties. So it's not quite something that how you say is done in the right time, or is there's not reasonable ways by the company owners, from what I see. Some of the company owners just basically, if we already like shit talking them, then I would say that I've seen some guys that are actually company owners, don't deal with this company at all, but they are on the photos of the field work or something. Let's say that you are like plowing a field and you are sitting in a tractor, you're making a photo there, and that's all you do. You just show the press that you are there, but that's it. I mean, that's not a very big value for the company, and I know about financial freedom and stuff like that, but still there should be some interest in your company at the same time. So yeah, I don't understand these guys. I don't understand this kind of CEOs. But yeah, if you abuse your working time as a physical worker, now that's a very bad thing, because that if it comes out, and of course if there's like minor abuses, like let's say that you had a rest for like 5 minutes and you still got the job done, it doesn't matter that much. But I mean, if there's this kind of abuses, that this let's say that this client is waiting for you, for your physical worker to get the job done, and it depends how fast is he or she doing this job, and he or she is going to a big lunch break of 2 hours, then it's not okay. Come on, like I don't understand. You can debate about it, but if you're absent for 2 hours and some client is waiting after you, then the company wouldn't like it. And if it comes out, it's a big thing. I mean, obviously. And yeah, maybe this video was a little bit obvious with all these aspects, but I think there is still some stuff to, see. And I would like to, bring it out also that some comparisons like I did with which one to aim, like a public work or the private. So I did this kind of thing. I was doing a video about what kind of things to study after high school and etc. So why not to do this? Because maybe some of you are in a wrong career path and see that maybe I want to be like doing something easier. I don't want to be stressed out every day and working with a screen every day. I want to go out and have fun with my work at the same time, because actually I think also the physical work might be more fun than the office work sometimes, because in the office work it can be also very routinic, and you do the same thing every day after day, and you're getting not much out of it, just the salary, right? But here you can get like muscles, you can see the nature, stuff like that also, that is very influential while you're making your decision. And yeah, as I said, that these guys that I've spoken with, seeing how is everybody like decorating their home and stuff like that, even smallest things can matter to the people, and we are still people after all. I mean, of course it's good for the company maybe if like robots are replacing the workers, and there will be less disasters like workers not showing up and stuff like that. But at the same time, some people actually want to do this kind of things, and they will be very difficult to replace humans with robots that are finding the right shelf to put the stuff onto, or even like high, also getting robots higher up, these kind of things is or if they are too weak, they have to use like this kind of like machines, or every kind of things that robot can fail with. And maybe it will come eventually, these kind of things, but as long as we don't have it, the physical workers are very influential. And at the same time, I mean, people need food. There's only will be more people and more people, and when there's no food in the shops or in in your fields, wherever you live, if you're like a farmer, then obviously you can grow your own stuff and grow your own food. So I think also farming industry, even though there is like automatic tractors and stuff like that, but I still think that there is still needs to be a farmer, this kind of guy that gets the deals done with the clients, and salesperson for your farm, this kind of things, and invoices need to keep kept somewhere, and etc. So the robots can replace us, but only by so much, because nowadays there's also this robots that cut the grass and vacuum the apartments and houses and stuff, but they cannot access everywhere as well, because like, how do you access the stairs, for example, with a vacuum robot? Or I don't know, some kind of cutting the grass, like let's say that you have something that is blocking the way, that I don't know, if you're rich, you have a pool or a pond or something, and the robot drives in there. It's like, there's so many things that can happen, and so many aspects that still it needs to be developed first, and they can maybe, you know, be operated under your watch only or something like that. It would be never enough of I mean, there would be always like some improvements for these kind of things, but I'm not sure if they are taking over all the world, like all the physical work, or you know, still like sales deals. I mean, yeah, you can be like buying something from the robot and from online and stuff like that, but at the same time, like marketing, you know, these kind of things. Are the robots really start to do marketing also, like in the right channels, and how they know how to reach to different kind of people? Maybe they will. Well, who knows? Well, we can debate it for hours and hours, but yeah, physical work nowadays I think is a very valid point for now, and especially robots are still expensive, so not everybody has money to buy them. Not everybody has, you know, all these big companies doesn't have. They need to find ways to reduce the cost for the workforce. But if you buy a robot for your workforce, it might be very expensive and might not pay off. But who knows? Who knows? Maybe it will pay off. And there's also a big investment. Like, let's say that this robot will pay off, but only after like 10 years. And imagine if like Russia attacks you and stuff like that at the same time as like in the fourth year, and yeah, your robot will be gone. I mean, nice investment. So yeah, there is a lot of dependencies on this kind of things, but I hope that the scene will be getting better, and especially those that want to do the physical work, that you find the one that is actually paying you pretty okay salary and you don't have to fight for it too much, because you are worth basically every penny. Like I always say that I mean, even the cleaning ladies, come on, you're cleaning the hotel rooms. People want to stay in hotel rooms, especially those that are like you know, really like not relocating, but you know, going to these conferences or whatever, this kind of important business meetings. They will have to have this hotel room ready for them, and if there was no cleaning lady, they wouldn't have this ready for them. They wouldn't be able to stay there and stuff like that. You know, it's the core stuff that matters. And if the core is not set, if it's not there, then the all of these things doesn't happen, and there will be no small companies. There will be only big companies in the world, because I mean, if the big companies can operate without the core workers, yes, okay, fine, but the small companies wouldn't have enough money to buy them. So yeah, so that is the main points that I wanted to bring out, and yeah, hope you enjoyed this video. There was a little bit complaining, sorry, but I think in general we got the topic covered, and I will see you guys in the weekend while I'm doing a new video, and this time about also in the office. I will go back to the office and make a video, something about working in the office, some tips and tricks that I would like to share again. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you guys next time.